Hello everyone and welcome back to the Bible. Each week we read out one chapter of the book of John, rather. Apologies for the relative lack of uploads over the last few days. Big assignment, and it's been pretty hairy and full on. But it's done now, and now I have a week off, which is great. I will, of course, repeat this message in my normal videos because everyone ignores these. So, yes, but of course, if you are interested in the Bible, feel free to listen in. This is only for those who are interested. If you're not, continue to enjoy all the other videos that my channel puts out at a regular basis. So let's get to it, shall we? John 20, the second last actually, so let's get into it. Early Sunday morning, while it was still dark, Mary Magdalene came to the tomb and found that the stone was rolled away from the entrance. She ran and found Simon Peter and me and said, "They have taken the Lord's body out of the tomb, and I don't know where they have put him." We ran to the tomb to see. I outran Peter and got there first, and stooped and looked in and saw the linen cloth laying there, but I didn't go in. Then Simon Peter arrived and went on inside. He also noticed the cloth lying there, while the swath that had covered up Jesus' head was rolled up in a bundle and was laying at the side. Then I went in too and saw, and believed that he had risen, for until then we hadn't realized that the scriptures said that he would come to life again. We went on home, and by that time Mary had returned to the tomb and was outside crying. And as she wept, she stooped and looked in and saw two white-robed angels sitting at the head and foot of the place where the body of Jesus had been lying. "Why are you crying?" the angels asked her. "Because they have taken my Lord," she replied, "and I don't know where they have put him." She glanced over her shoulder and saw someone standing behind her. It was Jesus, but she didn't recognize him. "Why are you crying?" he asked her. "Whom are you looking for?" She thought it was the gardener. "Sir," she said, "if you have taken him away, please tell me where you have put him, and I will go and get him." "Mary," Jesus said. She turned toward him. "Master," she exclaimed. "Don't touch me," he cautioned, "for I haven't yet ascended to the Father. But go and find my brothers and tell them that I ascend to my Father and your Father, my God and your God." Mary Magdalene found the disciples and told them, "I have seen the Lord," and then she gave them his message. That evening the disciples were meeting behind locked doors, in fear of the Jewish leaders, when suddenly Jesus was standing there among them. After greeting them, he showed them his hands and side, and how wonderful was their joy when they saw their Lord. He spoke to them again and said, "As the Father has sent me, even so I am sending you." Then he breathed on each of them and told them, "Receive the Holy Spirit. If you forgive anyone's sins, they are forgiven, and if you refuse to forgive them, they are unforgiven." One of the disciples, Thomas, the twin, was not there at the time of the others. When they kept telling him, "We have seen the Lord," he replied, "I won't believe it unless I see the nail wounds in his hands, and put my fingers into them, and place my hand into his side." 8 days later the disciples were together again, and this time Thomas was with them. The doors were locked, but suddenly, as before, Jesus was standing among them and greeting them. Then he said to Thomas, "Put your finger into my hands, put your hand into my sides. Don't be faithless any longer. Believe." "My Lord and my God," Thomas said. Then Jesus told him, "You believe because you have seen me. But blessed are those who haven't seen me and believe anyway." Jesus' disciples saw him do many other miracles besides the ones told about in this book. But these are recorded so that you will believe he is the Messiah, the Son of God, and that believing in him you will have life. And that concludes John 20. When we come back next week, we will continue with the final chapter of the book of John. I've been doing great tonight. I'm tired. You can tell I'm tired, can't you? Anyway, thanks for listening, and God bless, and hope you continue to enjoy everything that we put out here at KonfluxGames.